Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining me today. Our inspiration for today is Anna Griffin Cake Pop-Up Dies. This is the newest addition to the pop-up family. We first had the flower pop-up, then it was the teacup, and now we have some cake. This comes with 6 dies. You're only going to need to use one of each, so this is super easy to put together, and I'm going to show you just how to do that. So after you cut out one of each, we're going to first start off with the main pieces, and that is going to be your candle, and that's this one here. You're going to need your bottom tier for your cake, this one, and then you're going to need a base plate, your actual plate. So those are the 3 to start off right now. You want to cut all 6 pieces out, but these are the 3 that we're going to focus on first. So you're going to take your base plate and you want to go ahead and fold that in half. There's only one score line. You want to take your bottom tier, and this has a middle score line as well. And then there is a score line here, and then one closer towards the end. And you're going to do the same to this side. One here, and then there's one towards the end. Then for the candle, you're going to have here, you're going to have 2 score lines. You're going to fold these inward. Now this I know does not match because I'm not using double-sided paper, but you won't see this. So with these 2 pieces, you're going to glue these down. So I'm just going to take some glue here and glue these down. So you're going to fold it inward with glue and hold it down. So then at the bottom, we have a score line here that you can fold as well, but we're going to leave that like this for the moment. So next, what we want to do is take the bottom tier of the cake, and we're going to take this, and there is a slot in the middle. You're going to push this down in the slot, and it's gonna stop here. Okay, see that? And then after you do that, you're going to take your cake plate or your base panel, and there is also a slot in the middle. You're going to stick that in, but you're not going to push it all the way down. You're going to stop where this little score line is on the bottom. See that? So I'm going to take it out and show you again. The little fold score line here on the bottom, you're going to push it down through the center slot of your cake plate, and then it stops here. And what you're going to do is just put some adhesive here and fold that over like this. And just kind of hold it for a minute. This looks like a little, maybe a stick figure a little bit. So once you lay that there, this is what it should look like on the bottom. So then now we have this piece we need to focus on. So this is going to go in your base panel as well. So there is another slot here, and you're just going to push that through. And remember, we folded here because there was a score line. You're going to push that through and stop it at that score line. And it should look like that. And you just fold it over and glue that. And you're going to do the same thing to the other side. Okay. So then flip it to the other side. Take the bottom, push it through the slot, and stop it at that score line. Put some glue in position. And we have our bottom tier. Okay. So then next, what you want to do is go ahead and take your top tier. Looks just like this one, only smaller. Again, it has a score line in the middle, and then one here, and then one towards the bottom. And we're doing the exact same thing that we did as with that one. Score here, and then one towards the bottom. Okay, so then now with this one, you're going to take it and push it through the candle from the top like we did the other one, but it's not going to go all the way down. Okay, so you're just going to go through the middle slot, push it through, and it's going to stop right here. You see that? It's going to stop right there. And then what you're going to do after that is the same thing like we did to the bottom, except the slots are now on this bottom layer of the cake. So you're just going to push that through like that. And I know it may be a little tough to see. You see that? You stop it at the score line and you put some adhesive here and fold it over. So put your adhesive here and fold it over. And you're going to do the same thing to the other side. So take your bottom piece, push it through the slot, and stop it at the score line, and it should look the same. Put your adhesive and then glue it down. So I'm going to try to show you from the side. I know it's a little awkward, but if you can see, it's the two pieces. It looked just like on the bottom of this. So then we have put together our base and our tiers for the cake. So now what's left to do, we used 4 pieces. Remember, there are 6. So there are 2 more pieces left. And this is pretty much your, I guess if you want to call it your frosting or whatever, but this is the layer to go around your cake to cover up the little structure that we built. Okay, but we have to score the lines first. So here you're going to have 6 squares, and I believe there are 6 score lines. It's probably a little tough to see my score lines on the camera, but you should be able to see yours. So just cut and emboss this, and then you have this one. The larger one is for the bottom tier, and the smaller one is for the top. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and fold my score lines, all 6 of them. And then there is a score line, which I believe is number 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, so the 6th one is towards this shape here where it's not fully a square, and it's towards the end. And this is going to be the closure of the to close your, I'll show you once we put it together. Okay, so you're going to do that, and then you're going to take your cake, and we have the 6 large squares. Don't include this little one here, but you still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're going to go to square number 3. So 1, 2, and 3. And in the middle of 3, you're going to put some adhesive. Okay. And then you're going to take some adhesive and put it here on one of the legs of the bottom tier cake. And you're going to line those up. Okay. And just kind of hold it for a minute. And then we're going to start to wrap this around. If you can see what I'm doing, all I'm doing is holding that in place while it's being glued. And then once we get to the other side, we have this part. You want to add some adhesive. And then remember where we had the end here where we folded the score line, you want to put adhesive here as well, because we're going to close this. So it can be a little challenging, but just, it'll be okay. Okay, and so just, you might probably should hold it. Yeah, see, it's popping open. Hold it together. I'm gonna put a little more glue because I have a quick drying glue, but hold it together until it dries. So it's just pretty easy to put this together. So I'm just gonna hold this for a few seconds in place until it dries. So you see that? It looks like it should. And then we're going to do the exact same thing to the top layer as well. So I'm going to hold this for a minute and let it dry. So now that that has dried, we're going to go ahead and do the second one. So this one, we're going to fold at our score lines as well. And I believe this one has 6 score lines as well. They're just smaller. So it's the same like the bottom, okay? And then you'll get that final score line towards the end to close it. So you're going to do the same thing that we just did to this layer. So we're going to take the glue, we're going to go to square number 3, put some adhesive in the middle of square number 3, and then we're going to take this, put some adhesive here, line it up and hold it together, wrap it around, put adhesive here and then on there so we can close it. Okay. Okay, see that? So maybe I should be holding it to make sure it stays, but this will be tested once it's time to fold. So I'm gonna let that dry. Okay, so it's been a few minutes and hopefully my glue is completely dry. So this is what your cake should look like. And I can't remember with the top layer if I told you guys, but push it down. I think I may have said push it here, but it actually has to go further and it will force itself to go further. So make sure you have it here instead of right there. Push it here and then it won't go past that. So this is what the cake should look like. So you need to go ahead and get your card base so that we can go ahead and get this assembled to the card. Now, before I do that, I'm going to try to maneuver this to get it to fold in half because I want to make sure nothing's coming apart before I actually fully adhere to the card. So it's pushing down nicely. Let me open it back up. Okay, so it's working. Okay, so let me get my card base and just make sure you're using a strong glue. So I'm going to go ahead and take my glue and adhere this to my card base. Okay, I'm just going to lay that in the middle or the center here, and I'm going to push that over. Give that a little crease. And I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing to the other side. So I'm going to put down my glue. And I'm going to fold this one over and do the same thing. Oops, I didn't want to stay. And I just like to open it and I think mine's moved out of place a little, but be okay. And I have some glue here that I need to wipe up. It dries, it'll dry clear. So okay, so look at that. How super cute is that? And then like I said, just make sure you push it and fold it, and there we go, and pop it back open. Voila, super cute. So that is it for the cake. Let me show you 2 other cards that I made. So I thought I had it. Let me gather them. So I have this one. I haven't done anything to the front yet, but I have this one here. So this is another one. And as you can see that I have been using a different color paper for like the here and the layer around the cake. That's totally optional. Okay, that's totally optional. And of course, how you would get that is you would just cut, instead of cutting all of this in the same paper, I did these three the same and these two the same, but that's optional. Okay, and then for my other cake, I have this one here. So this is a mermaid cake, and I haven't done much to the front yet either. I'm still working on these, but I thought I'd share them with you since they are completed on the inside. So that's the mermaid one. So those are my 3 cakes, and I'll definitely be using this a lot. So I'm going to enjoy it. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you found this very easy and inspirational. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.